Yes. All right. Hi. We have Maligiaq Padilla today at the Gearlab in Taipei, and we have Chung-Shih, co-founder and designer of Gearlab and Gearlab Pedals. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have Maligiaq here today, and he is a Greenland kayaker. And according to his Wikipedia page, at age 12, he has won every event at the National Kayaking Championship. So you didn't give anybody else a chance. You took the trophy for every event. So we're going to ask you about that a little bit later. But for Maligiaq, he's won at age 12, and he's won 10 years in a row from then. So I guess your competition is not very strong, or but we'll ask you more about that. All right, so we'd like to know a little bit more about you. Where are you originally from, and where do you currently reside?
Yeah, I grew up in Greenland. The town called Sisimiut is about 6,000 population. It's the second largest town. Greenland is in the west coast, about in the Arctic Circle, 30 miles above the Arctic Circle. This is where I spent most of my childhood, grew up and
until from age 12, you were still there at age 12. Up until when did you leave?
I moved to Alaska. I would say that was the end of 2009 or beginning of 2010. But I was married to an Alaskan. I was one of the reasons that I moved to Alaska. So I've been living there almost 10 years, 9 years, 10 years.
Okay. So you live in Alaska now, and I understand there is also a good amount of Inuit indigenous community there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about your career, or what do you do currently in Alaska?
Well, when I first moved, I had no idea what I'm going to do. So I just moved and just was hoping that I can work with schools. Right now, I work with 31 different schools. They're in the remote villages, and mostly the Inuit, the tribe. I'm trying to revive the traditional kayaking history of kayak there. So I work with high schoolers to use the kayak building Yupik styles, Inupiat style, the Greenland style, as the math and science, using your body dimension to create a kayak that was part of your body, and kind of also teach the history of indigenous kayaks.
I understand. So your main mission right now is to really spread the kayak building traditions, and also make sure the community in Alaska still is aware of this culture, this Inuit indigenous culture, from the kayaking perspective.
Yeah, there was a book written by Harvey Golden. He's an archaeologist. He's an expert in traditional kayaks. I use his books a lot of times to teach the high schoolers, just to get them the knowledge what the culture of a kayak is. Also do my own research from the museum. Also kind of combine his book, because there's more than 45 different traditional kayaks all across the Arctic, from Siberia, Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. Probably more. So each place has a little different style. So trying to understand myself, to learn, educate myself, also give it to the younger generation.
Right.
To get them the knowledge, at least they have a little bit of knowledge of kayak.
Thank you. I guess during non-school season, I heard that you go around the world taking kayak trips. So where have you been, or where are you going this season?
Well, when the school is off, I try to do traveling. I've been to Italy, Spain, Japan, Denmark, Norway.
All this year?
No, in the past years.
I see, okay.
Iceland, Canada, and west and the east coast of U.S. Just trying to do kayaking.
And spread the Greenland kayaking culture using obviously Greenland paddle and Greenland kayak boats to the rest of the world.
Yeah, just kayaking, kayak building, paddle making, kayak trips, anything that I can do with the kayak.
Okay. Well, since we're at Gearlab, we do. We're known for Greenland style paddles. And Chung-Shih, do you want to share about your first encounter? When did you first met Maligiaq, and in what occasion?
I don't really remember. I talked with Maligiaq on internet, I think.
Oh, you met through the internet?
Yeah, through Facebook.
Yeah, that was about 7-8 years ago, maybe.
7-8 is quite long. I don't remember.
Yeah, there was first paddle that you sent me, the white one, the first generation. I think that's.
Well, that's 2010.
The Oyashio, is it?
Yeah, that must have been way back then.
Yeah.
When did you first met him in person?
In person, Greenland, I think.
Yeah,
In
2017. Yeah.
Yes.
So you both traveled. You've traveled from Taiwan to Greenland. You've traveled from Alaska to Greenland, to your hometown. And did you do some kayaking there?
That is the Greenland trip. Also the Greenland competition.
The competition.
Yeah.
The competition that he won 10 times in a row.
Yes.
Okay. So obviously you don't. I suppose you're giving other people a chance. You stop competing. Are you so Maligiaq? Do you sponsor, or are you a judge for the competition now, or how are you involved with the competition now?
Well, the idea I had was trying to get international people from anywhere to experience the competition. There was an idea when I first met Chung-Shih, and asked him if he can sponsor or give a discount from the Gearlab paddle. And he told me, we'll give everyone a paddle and I can bring 4 people from Taiwan. Like, wow, great. This is where I first met him in Asia.
That was back in 2017.
17. Yeah.
Right.
So we did the trip with 2 different groups. He was in the second group. So I took the first group and did the 6-7 day paddle trip. And the second group arrived when we arrived to the town. So all the first and second group was there at the same time during the competition. So that there was a competition in between. And after the competition, the first group left and I took the second group and he was in the second group.
Okay. All right, so I would have to assume that you prefer personally using Greenland style boats and Greenland style paddles over a Euro style paddle. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I prefer the Greenland style. I mean, I use them both. I used to have a Euro plate. It's just a different the muscles that it requires with the Euro plate, and I just can't quite feel comfortable with my shoulders, I guess, and my wrist. And so I prefer what I learned as growing up with Greenland paddle and the Gearlab paddle. It's been growing really good, and I followed them for the few years, and the last model was.
So in your opinion, personal opinion, what do you think are the benefits of Greenland style paddle over European style paddles?
According to the students that I work with, the ones who switch from the Euro plate to Greenland paddle, the reason according to them, they were saying, they prefer that the less hurting in your wrist, elbow, and the shoulders using the Greenland paddle, because the Euro plate kind of hurts them. So that's one of the biggest reasons I think that people
to reduce injuries and reduce fatigue.
Yeah.
Right. And also, Greenland paddles has also been called touring style paddles. So, do you think is there any reason why Greenland style paddles are more suitable for long distance kayaking over Europe blades?
Yeah, you use I guess less energy from your shoulders and from your
So you can paddle a longer distance.
and it's quite lighter in the stroke and feel a lot more natural for the longer distance. If you ask somebody who uses a Euro plate, probably will say the same thing, but that's my opinion.
So you're saying that if we ask somebody that's using a Euroblade, if Euroblade is a good tool for long distance paddling, they would also say it is.
Probably.
So it is really a preference. Personal preference.
Depends on the people.
I see. Okay.
And I'm really starting to like how popular Greenland paddles are starting to become around the world.
Well, that's how you first. When I guess as a kid, your first paddle is a Greenland style paddle, obviously, because you probably didn't have another option back home, right? Every paddle is a Greenland paddle. You probably don't call it Greenland paddle. You just probably call it a paddle because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right? There is no Euro paddle back home.
Well, there's few. They have plastic kayaks and Euro plates and just some people own, but I've seen those.
But most people have their hand wooden carved paddles that they build themselves.
Yeah.
So is it pretty common that as a kid growing up that you would build your own paddle, your own boat, and that's part of the experience, your own kayak? Thank you.
Yeah.
So every kid learning how to kayak probably knows how to build their own paddle back home.
Yeah, I mean they have adult elders, who teaches them how to build them. That's how we learn from the older generation to younger generation, and we pass it on to the younger generation.
When did you build your first paddle?
I was 12.
The same year that you won the national kayaking competition.
Yeah, and my first kayak when I was 12.
Oh.
It was kind of funny story building my first kayak because at the kayak club, if you don't have a kayak, you have to ask around.
To borrow, to lend you a kayak for the competition.
And a lot of times as a young, in my age, most likely the answer will be no. And,
you're not touching my boat.
So I was tired of asking people, and I just wanted to build my own, and I started it. It was not pretty. It was not symmetrical. It was crooked a little bit, but it flowed. I remember the kayak was keep turning into the right, but the most important thing, it was floating.
Did you compete in that kayak?
No, I borrowed I borrowed one of the club kayaks for the competition because my first kayak wasn't that fast.
I see.
The second one I built, I competed with.
Oh, okay. So on the second competition, when you were 13, you won the competition with your own paddle and your own kayak that you built.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Learn from the first mistake, make it a little better, make it better every time when you build a kayak.
So Chung-Shih, have you ever built a wood paddle yourself?
Yeah, I just did yesterday.
Was that your first one?
Maybe not. I did it the prototype like 2009.
I see.
Yeah. But after that, I've been doing the over since then. But yesterday I built another wooden.
Do you have it with you today?
Not right now.
I
It's
see.
in the car.
All right. But obviously, you try to use carbon fiber as a material replacement for a traditional wood paddle. Why do you think that's a better option?
Well, you can see that happening in a lot of sports equipment. The carbon fiber is pretty strong and light material, so you can build a lighter, stronger paddle with the material. Like the wood will be a lot more flexible, but carbon fiber will be stiffer. It will transport more energies from your body to the water, to the kayak.
Right. So with a carbon fiber paddle, because it is lighter weight, it's also stronger. So it allows you to perform better paddle for longer distance, like Maligiaq was saying, less fatigue and further distance.
Yeah, but I think most Greenland style can do the same stuff.
But a carbon fiber would make it lighter.
Yeah, carbon fiber will make it lighter and much less effort to your body. Yeah, that will do.
I see. Okay. As you both know, in 2019, Gearlab is launching a new paddle. What we dubbed, well, in English we call it a KQ or a Kayak. But I'm pretty sure it's an incorrect pronunciation because it's we looked it up. This word Kayak, and excuse for my pronunciation, is a Inuit term for lightning, lightning fast. Do you have a Kayak that you can pick up? Yeah. So I'm gonna have this chance. We don't get a lot of chance to have a true Inuit in the house today. But how should we pronounce the term lightning, the Kayak, for this?
Geshil.
Can we try to do that again?
Geshil.
So I've been pronouncing it all wrong since day one. Chung-Shih, can you pronounce our paddle?
Joystick.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I've been learning from him since last week.
So the first one I think he sent me was the Geshil. I think that's a Canadian Inuit dialect. It means the same thing. In Greenland we say Geshil. So it's actually means the same, but Geshil it's Canadian Inuktitut, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a slight difference between a Canadian Inuit versus a Greenland.
Yeah, there's a difference, little difference there and there. The same language, different dialect. But,
Well, I'm glad that at least we figured out the correct pronunciation for.
Joystick.
Thank you. So our new paddle, Kayak or Kayak in English, has recently won the 2019 Best Kayak Paddle of the Year, according to paddling.com. From your opinion, you have used previous Gearlab paddles, such as the Oyashio, the Kayak, the Nucleic. And what do you think is the major difference between the previous generations versus the new Kayak?
when I first tried it in Alaska last year, he bought it for Alaska trip, and I noticed the edges are sharper and the plate it's thinner and it's much lighter and has more power and it feels more natural, less buoyancy than the first.
Previous version.
Yeah, and I like how the thin the edges are. It's just cut through the water, and it's quite powerful actually. It's really good in sculling. When you do the sculling like rolls, it just like naturally sculls really nicely. And I like the feel in the water, so smooth.
Well, this is you mentioned how thin it is. It is the blade. It is 1.1 millimeters thick. So it is the thinnest blade that we have in our line. Like our this year's slogan says, "Slice the water." So usually in the kayak, it is as if we're slicing through the water. Another of our Gearlab product that we have here that it's always intrigues me that we carries a line called a Kayaking, which we have here. So I'm sure you're familiar with this tool or weapon. Can you tell us, educate us about a little bit about what this is for and when do you use it?
This is actually a model of Noxa. It's a throwing stick.
Throwing stick.
That was used for throwing harpoon.
So it is being used as a harpoon. Is that how you hold it?
Yeah, you hold it like that, and so your harpoon will go in here in this curve, and this will allow you to throw it 3 to 5 times more than you can throw it from your arm. And also hunches adjust this hole as in target, the scope target. That the people, the hunters, are really good at throwing this, spin a little bit like that to hit the target. I'm not really good at it, but that's.
So what do you hit? What are you trying to hit?
The hunting seals,
Seals.
belugas, narwhals that the people eat.
I see. Have you ever used a Norsac or a Gearlab to hunt a seal?
Actually, I used the rifle and the harpoon to hunt seals. Yeah.
Okay. So you can. This is actually could be used as a hunting weapon or equipment.
This probably could use as a hunting Noxa. Yeah, we just have to fit the harpoon. It looks more like a rolling Noxa. And a lot of people, making Noxa just for rolls, the people who doesn't hunt.
Okay.
Just for.
So this would also assist you when you're trying to do a roll, a kayak roll.
Yeah, extend your arm. And the whole idea is sometimes the water is so rough that hunters are going to seal, then accidentally tip over, and they can use the Noxa to get back up, roll back up.
So you actually beat the seal with this thing?
Not like this, with the harpoon.
With the harpoon. Alright, so maybe we should come up with a harpoon attachment to our current Norsac Kayaking.
Yeah, maybe. Another product.
Gearlab harpoon.
Make the carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I couldn't help but notice that that you have a very interesting bird tattoo on your arm. Do you mind sharing us or telling us about show off your tattoo and tell us more about this? Is there a story?
Yeah, there's
Can we take a look?
just this one. I can tell you only this one. It's it was done by hand poke. It's like a traditional way of. It's actually came from Maligiaq in Alaska. It's a raven.
It is a raven.
And the circle is to protect me from drowning. That's what I was told from tattooist. She's from Greenland.
So it is a traditional Inuit symbol,
Yeah.
a raven that prevents you from drowning.
Yeah.
Okay. So a raven, in the Inuit belief, is that it's waterproof, or it's not afraid of water.
It's a lot of stories, but this is just one of them. Yeah.
It is definitely a very cool looking raven.
Maybe you should tell them how they make the circle.
The circle, it was used the needle
Needle.
with the thread.
So it is not using a commercial equipment
No, it's a hand poke. You ink it.
with a hammer and
This one it's poked, and this one is sewn actually.
So
Put the needle and put the ink in. So you actually feel the needle and the thread coming through your skin, like have a little noise, and there's a pink.
okay. That is a very cool story. I don't think many of us had a chance to tattoo with traditional needles before. And obviously that's more than you have more than one tattoo on. I can see also you also have a kayak on your elbow.
Yeah.
Is there any other significant tattoo that really moves you? That is really memorable you would like to share with us?
No comments, but this kayak, you probably guys know what it means. Yeah.
that was from 2017.
17. Yeah.
Oh, that was very recent.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
We are in a trip and just another day. Hey, you got a tattoo.
You got the tattoo on the trip?
No, not on the trip. Before the trip.
Right before the trip.
2 days before the trip.
Yes.
Do you have, Chung-Shih, do you have any cool tattoos you would like to share with us?
With tattoo, I have an old car on my back.
An old car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that demonstrates your love for
The ocean.
the ocean. That's good.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Yeah. So we'll do a closing statement, right? Thank you very much, Mr. Maligiaq Padilla. And can we let yourself pronounce your name? I'm sure I'm pronouncing it all wrong.
You got it. Maligiaq. And the last name is actually the Spanish is Padilla.
Yeah.
And also Philippines uses the last name. It's Padilla.
Yes. So we're very glad to have Maligiaq Padilla and Gearlab here in Taipei today, and also to have Chung-Shih, as you most already know, the co-founder and head designer of Gearlab paddles here in Taipei. And so thank you very much for coming here, and we hope to paddle with you and speak to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me here and sponsoring the trips the past few years. It's been pretty amazing to work with Gearlab. I hope somehow I can help to you put up to advertise it.
Yes, we definitely want to spread the Greenland kayaking culture to the rest of the world through the design of our Greenland paddles, as well as other trips that we try to host.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will. I think we definitely will have the trip next year.
Yeah.
And we will go to the island and enjoy another epic trip.
Yeah, I definitely will come back. This has been a really awesome trip. I had so much fun. Good food, good hospitality,
Very nice.
nice people.